Bonjour and Salamat Reo from the Big Red Island of Madagascar. Usually in January, I like to talk about the past year to see what God did with us and through us in His ministry. I also love looking forward so we can begin praying about how God will use us to impact Madagascar this year. These are the things that I usually like to talk about in January, but if you remember, we had an emergency in January, so I sent out an urgent prayer letter asking you to pray for Nanjianat and Tahiri. Tahiri had gone through a brutal delivery that caused the baby to die and left her barely able to walk for several weeks. To give you an update on the family, she has made a full recovery and has returned to the church where she is loved. Please continue to pray for this family. Now I want to take the rest of the time that I have to ask you to pray for our goals in the ministry this year and long term. In January, Val and I had some of our young adults over to our home, and I took the opportunity to share our vision for what we want to see God do this year. And I want to share that with you so you know how to be praying with us. First, let me start with outreach. As you know from our past updates, we have to teach English in order to keep our visas here in Madagascar. With some of the new visa laws, we have discovered that it may be possible for me to get a visa as a pastor instead of an English teacher through our NGO, so we're actually pursuing that now. However, the English classes have proven to be a great outreach opportunity. I've challenged our young people from the church to come and to bring their friends. The English classes not only put us in front of new people in class, but because we're doing these outreaches in the local schools, it gets us in the door there as well. We will also be having other outreach activities throughout the year, but I will update you on those as they get closer. But please be praying for our English outreaches. The second area we ask you to pray with us in is the area of discipleship. We ask you to pray with us in two ways. First of all, I challenged our teens and young adults to go through our discipleship program by the end of the year. It will be a challenging goal, but not an impossible one. And I'm happy to report that since I gave that challenge in January, we've had 4 people begin, and 1 more will start in the next couple of weeks. By the way, one of our first ladies who went through discipleship with us in Madagascar is now leading someone through discipleship. Val and I are also going through discipleship with 3 men and 4 women at the missionary hospital where she teaches English. This brings me to another area that we ask you to pray with us, and that is disciplers. As more people are added to the church, we're going to need more people who are able to take people through the discipleship program. We're praying that we can have 7 new disciplers by the end of the year. The last 2 things I'm asking you to pray about with us are our goals that extend beyond 2021, and one of them is big. First of all, I'm praying that our young adults will all find places of service in the church, but we're also praying that God will begin working in their lives and calling some of them into ministry. The second long-term goal prayer request is this. The need and opportunity in Madagascar is huge. There is so much work to do. Friends, everywhere I go, I see a need for the gospel. Men, women, and children who need to hear about Jesus. Some places so crowded with people you can hardly move. So much work to be done, but so few people to do it. Would you pray with me that God would call and bring 4 new church planting missionary families in the next 5 years? I know this update is long and we're asking you to pray with us over many things, but I believe that God is moving here on this island and we're excited to see what God will do. Will you pray about the possibility of being part of what God is doing here in Madagascar? Thank you for praying for us, and remember, we're also praying for you.